Amara walks into the sunny courtyard that morning with a warm bowl of akara, humming because Tendai sent her a sweet little heart before sunrise. Everything feels simple and peaceful for a moment. The smell of coffee fills the air, the table is busy with small sounds, and Amara's smile is soft and real. Then Mama Nyasha lifts her eyes and drops a sentence that hits the whole room like a stone. She says Amara is not worth her son's time. At first, Amara lets out a small, confused laugh, the kind you make when you hope you heard wrong. But the silence that follows makes her chest go tight. Plates scrape. Someone coughs. Tendai stops smiling. He stares at Amara with a worried look, as if he wants to fix something but doesn't know where to start. Amara feels the ground sway under her feet even though she is sitting down. Her fingers shake around the bowl. The morning light suddenly feels too bright, too sharp, as if it is showing every crack in the room. No one speaks. The coffee on the table keeps steaming, untouched, sitting right between a mother who has drawn a line and a couple who now feel that the world they shared a second ago is slipping out of place. After that painful morning, the house changes in small, cruel ways that most people would miss if they weren't looking closely. At first it is tiny things. Mama Nyasha will walk into a room and quietly take the chair beside her but leave the one next to her empty, even when Amara is standing there with tired feet. When Amara sits, Mama Nyasha sighs or shifts away as if the seat has suddenly become uncomfortable. She speaks to Amara with a sweet voice that hides sharp meaning. She says things like, maybe wear something more decent next time, or some women talk too much, you know, and then smiles as if she has given kind advice. The words never sound loud, but they land hard. Amara swallows each one like bitter medicine. She feels it burning inside long after the moment passes. Tendai keeps trying to smooth the air, cracking silly jokes that don't land. His laughter comes out thin, almost shaky, like someone pretending everything is fine while watching a pot boil over. Amara plays along sometimes because it is easier to laugh than to show how deeply she is hurt. But at night the truth comes out. She cries into her pillow so quietly she hopes no one will hear. Her throat gets sore and her eyes puff up, and she tells herself that tomorrow she will be stronger. But the next day brings a new soft insult, a new quiet rejection, a new moment where she feels herself shrinking inside her own skin. People around them start to see it. A neighbor standing by the gate clicks her tongue when Amara passes by with lowered eyes. Another whispers to a friend, glancing at Amara with the pity people only use when they know someone is suffering. Even the children sense the tension. They look at Amara, then at Mama Nyasha, and copy the cold silence or the whispered comments. Children don't understand cruelty, but they repeat it with a simplicity that stings even more. Amara begins to feel as if she is fading from the house she tries so hard to belong to. She does chores quietly, cooks food that gets eaten without a word, tries to smile when she wants to disappear. Every day gives her one more reason to doubt herself. Her confidence, once bright and steady, thins like old cloth. She starts avoiding the main room, choosing corners where she won't be noticed. Even the sun in the courtyard feels harsher now, as if it is shining on her too directly, exposing every weakness. Tendai notices but doesn't know where to place his words. He sees the way Amara's shoulders tense when his mother enters the room. He sees her hands shake slightly when she sets the table. He hears her quiet sobs some nights and pretends he doesn't because he doesn't know how to fix what he can't fully name. He brings her small gifts, small jokes, small comforts, but none of them touch the growing ache inside her. Each day leaves another mark. They are not big wounds, they are small cuts, almost invisible, but they multiply. And soon they become a map of pain across her heart, a map she never asked for, a map she can't ignore. Amara looks at herself one evening in the cracked mirror by their room and doesn't recognize the woman staring back. She looks tired, smaller, dimmer, as if someone has slowly turned down her light. And the saddest part is that she doesn't know how to turn it back on. Tendai's phone begins to fill with messages that look innocent at first. They come at odd hours. Some are short, some are long, all written in a tone that pretends to care. Mama Nyasha tells him what Amara should wear, as if clothes could measure a woman's worth. She tells him which friends Amara should avoid, as if she knows their hearts better than Amara does. She tells him to guide Amara, to correct her, to remind her she is lucky. The words feel soft on the surface, but underneath they are sharp. Some lines carry a quiet poison, calling Amara talkative, careless, or too curious, as if those things make her unfit. One message says she will save Tendai from a wife who questions too much. At the end, she adds a smug little face that makes the whole thing feel even colder. These messages keep coming. They slip into his phone like small shadows, changing the way he sees his own life without him even noticing. Amara does not know about the texts. She only senses that something around her has grown heavier. She sees Tendai sometimes staring at his phone with a strange look, confused or worried, but he always smiles too quickly when she asks. She tries not to overthink it. She tries to believe the problem is only in her heart. But the silence between her and Mama Nyasha keeps getting thicker, and the days keep stretching in the same painful direction. Then one warm afternoon, everything shifts. Tendai leaves his phone on the veranda to help someone pull down a kite stuck in a tree. A small child picks up the phone, tapping the screen with sticky fingers, pretending to play a game. Tendai laughs and goes over to take it back. He is joking, teasing the child gently when a new message pops up on the screen. The words show themselves boldly. They do not hide, and this time he reads them fully. His whole expression changes. It is like someone has opened a window in his mind. He feels the truth strike him clean and fast. He scrolls up, reading message after message. He sees the comments about Amara's clothing. He sees the advice to avoid her friends. He sees the promise to save him from a wife who asks questions. He sees the little emoji at the end, almost mocking him. And suddenly, the small moments of coldness in the house make sense. They were never accidents. They were planned, fed, encouraged. Amara watches him from a few steps away. She sees his face go pale and still. She feels her stomach twist because she knows whatever he is reading has something to do with her. She walks closer but stops, afraid to ask. Tendai looks up slowly, and his eyes are full of something heavy, like someone who has just recognized a truth he should have seen long ago. It is the same look someone has when they find an old picture of themselves and realize the pain they were pretending not to feel was written on their face all along. He doesn't speak right away. He just holds the phone in his hand as if it has become heavier. The courtyard around them feels suddenly quiet. Even the birds seem to pause. Amara's breath catches. She feels like her whole world is standing on the edge of something, waiting to fall or rise. Tendai turns the phone over, locks it, then looks at her with an honesty that makes her heart shake. In that moment, both of them understand that the hurt in their home was not born from small accidents. It was built on purpose, piece by piece, and now the truth is finally standing in the light where neither of them can ignore it. Tendai doesn't shout, argue, or storm into the next room demanding answers. He does something far quieter and far more powerful. He saves every message. He keeps them as they are, without deleting a single word. That night, when the house has gone still and only the small lamp in their room burns softly, he sits on the edge of the bed and reads the messages again. His face stays calm, but inside him something fierce wakes up. Each line stings him in a new way. He thinks of all the strange moments he brushed aside. The birthdays Amara spent waiting for a call that never came. The family gatherings where jokes were shared, but chairs were pulled just out of her reach. The nights she looked tired, and he thought it was just the long day. Now all those moments line up clearly, like pieces of a puzzle he didn't know he was trying to solve. The more he reads, the more he feels a deep, steady anger build in his chest. Not the kind that burns fast and loud, but the kind that heats slowly and makes a man choose carefully. This anger carries no shouting. It carries decisions. The next morning he finds Amara in the small kitchen, cutting vegetables with the soft, tired rhythm of someone who has learned to stay small. He sits beside her without saying a word at first. She looks up, confused, because his face is unreadable. He unlocks his phone with slow hands and turns the screen toward her. His thumb hovers above the messages as if revealing something heavy. Amara's heart jumps. She reads the first message, then the second, then the fifth. Her breath holds in her throat until she feels dizzy. She doesn't cry, but her eyes glisten like tears are waiting behind them. All those small humiliations she tried to hide, all the moments she blamed herself for, are suddenly written in plain text. Tendai watches her silently, guilt mixing with hurt, and after a long moment he speaks in a quiet voice. "I didn't know." Those three words fall between them like a confession and an apology at the same time. He isn't defending anyone. He isn't pretending anymore. His voice cracks slightly, not from anger, but from regret that he didn't see the truth sooner. Amara nods, but she can't form words. The kitchen feels too small for all the feelings inside her. Then Tendai breathes in deeply, steadying himself, and tells her what he has decided. He wants to leave the house, not to cause drama, not to start a fight. He wants to walk away from the place that slowly broke her spirit. He wants to build something new with her, without the quiet cruelty that drained the light from her eyes. The decision scares both of them, but it shines with a strange, brave hope. It is not rebellion. It is not revenge. It is simply a choice to protect the love that almost got swallowed. And in that small kitchen, with the phone still glowing between them, they decide to step into a new life together. They start packing the very next morning, and the whole thing feels strange, like laughing and crying at the same time. Amara pulls out an old suitcase with a broken handle, and Tendai brings another one that smells faintly of dust and forgotten trips. They begin folding their clothes, trying to stay calm, but the moment they open the drawers they find a mountain of mismatched socks. Blue with yellow, red with stripes, some with holes, some without pairs at all. Tendai holds up one ridiculous sock shaped like a fish, and Amara bursts into a tired laugh that surprises even her. For a few seconds the room feels light, almost silly, as if happiness sneaks in between the cracks. But then they find small things that stop them cold. An old letter Amara wrote to Tendai before they married, the edges soft from age. A chipped mug painted by a child who once visited the house, Tendai's name written across it in clumsy, crooked letters. Amara touches it gently and tears slide down her face before she can stop them. Tendai wraps an arm around her, but his own eyes shine too. Packing becomes a dance between memories and hope, between heavy breaths and shaky smiles. Friends from the market soon hear the news and rush over. They bring warm samosas wrapped in paper, the smell filling the room with comfort. They help fold blankets, wrap fragile items, and lift the heavy boxes. One friend places both hands on Amara's shoulders, steady and warm, whispering that she is stronger than she knows. Another pats Tendai's back, telling him he is doing the right thing. Their presence turns the moment into something softer, something almost holy. Outside, Mama Nyasha stands by the windowsill, watching everything with eyes that change by the minute. At first her face looks stormy, full of anger and stubborn pride. Then slowly, her expression shifts to something like regret. Her shoulders slump, her lips tremble, as if she is finally seeing what her words and actions have built. She doesn't say anything. She only watches, trapped between the past and the moment slipping away from her. When Tendai and Amara carry the suitcases out, neighbors gather around. Some clap softly, almost cheering them on like they're starting a journey no one believed they would take. Others wipe their tears because they know the pain behind this decision. And the children, curious and loud, point at the moving van as if it is part of a parade passing through the street. The whole city seems to whisper about them before they even leave the block. Women at the tea stalls shake their heads with loud sighs. Men at the barbershop talk proudly, saying Tendai can always come to them if he needs work. Everyone has something to say, and yet the only two people who truly know the heart of the story sit silently in the back of the moving van. Inside the van, Tendai and Amara hold hands tightly, their fingers locked so hard their knuckles turn white. It feels like the world is shaking, but they steady each other. When they finally reach their small rented room in Entol, Amara steps out first. She looks at the tiny home, the dusty windows, the narrow door. Then she lets out a shaky laugh, full of relief and fear and victory all at once. The laugh cracks, turns into a long sob that empties her chest. But when she wipes her face, she feels lighter, as if she has left behind something heavy she never needed to carry again. Life in Entol begins slowly, almost awkwardly, like a seed trying to push through hard soil. Their new room is small, the walls plain, the floor uneven, but it feels safe in a way the old house never did. They don't try to create a perfect life. They focus on tiny things that make each day softer. Tendai wakes first most mornings and makes coffee just the way Amara likes it, sweet and warm. He sets the cup beside her with a shy smile, and she pretends not to see him staring at her with quiet pride. Amara spends her afternoons stitching curtains from leftover fabric. When she hangs them up, the sunlight passes through them gently, moving like sails in a slow breeze. For the first time in a long while, she feels the room brighten because of something she made with her own hands. Work comes in small, unexpected ways. Tendai starts fixing old radios, sitting outside with tools spread around him. People pass by, curious, and soon they bring their broken radios and speakers one by one. Amara begins sewing cushions, simple ones at first, then prettier ones as her confidence returns. At the market she sells a few each week. The neighbors watch this new couple carefully at first, unsure of their story, but soon they warm up. Someone brings leftover stew. Another offers a ride to the market. Children run to Tendai asking him to fix toy cars or old headphones. Little by little, the neighborhood becomes a family stitched together by kindness. Laughter finds its way back into their days. Real laughter, the messy kind that comes from deep inside. They tease each other while cooking or folding clothes. They argue sometimes too, but the arguments stay small and honest, no longer shaped by fear or someone else's judgment. When one of them gets upset, the other actually listens. It feels new, almost surprising to disagree without the world falling apart. There are moments that test them. A sudden bill arrives one month, higher than they expected, and they sit on the floor counting coins and thinking hard. Another night, heavy rain pours through a crack in the ceiling, waking them at midnight. They scramble with buckets and towels, shivering and laughing at the mess. Each problem they solve together becomes another knot tying them closer, like rope woven stronger after being broken. Amara hums now when she sews, soft and steady. Tendai whistles when he repairs a transistor, tapping his foot like he is playing a secret rhythm only he understands. Sometimes their sounds mix in the air, her humming, his whistling, and they look at each other and burst into giggles. The happiness feels almost too bright, almost embarrassing, but they let it spill out anyway. Their new life is simple and imperfect, but it grows day by day, blooming slowly like a flower that finally found sunlight. News travels fast, even faster than truth, and soon people begin whispering that Tendai and Amara have left the old house for good. The rumors float through tea stalls, barbershops, and church steps until they finally reach Mama Nyasha. At first she pretends not to care, pretending the world has not shifted under her feet. But pride is a fragile thing. It bruises easily. When she hears that the neighbors call her the reason her son moved out, something inside her twists. She starts sending small gifts through a neighbor, a jar of honey, a bag of rice, a short note saying she hopes they are eating well. The notes feel stiff, like someone trying to write kindness in a language they barely know. Amara reads them quietly, unsure how to feel. Then one afternoon Mama Nyasha shows up at the market where Amara sells cushions. Amara's hands freeze on a piece of fabric when she sees her. The air between them feels heavy, like a storm ready to break. Mama Nyasha steps forward and tries to smile, but her lips shake. Her apology comes out in pieces. She says she is sorry if she hurt Amara. She says she was trying to protect her son. She says she spoke out of fear, not hate, but every sentence bends awkwardly, as if she is learning how to be gentle for the first time. Amara listens with her heart beating hard in her chest. She feels the old wound ache like someone pressing a bruise that has not fully healed. She nods, but her eyes stay guarded. Tendai stands nearby, jaw tight, watching his mother speak. He feels the memory of the messages flare inside him again, sharp and painful. But he stays quiet. This moment is not for him to control. The community watches too. Some smile, hopeful, believing this is the start of healing. Others stand with folded arms, waiting to see if the apology will turn into another wound. Days pass, then weeks, and Mama Nyasha keeps trying. Her first attempts feel clumsy, almost uncomfortable. She brings a small bottle of cough syrup when Amara gets sick. She buys a cushion from the market and pays more than the asking price. She drops off fresh vegetables without saying a word. One day she slips a rent receipt between the layers of a cushion Amara is stitching, a quiet way of saying she wants to help without embarrassing them. Slowly, her efforts begin to change. She stops bringing excuses and starts bringing presents. She sits with Tendai and listens to him tell childhood stories she has heard many times before. This time she actually listens, her hands still and her voice quiet. When she visits Amara, she helps sort fabric or untangle thread, not to show off but to share space. She never tries to erase the past. She doesn't pretend she was innocent. She just keeps showing up, small act after small act, until her sincerity stops feeling like a performance. Forgiveness does not arrive all at once. It comes in slow pieces, like drops of water filling a cracked cup. Amara does not forget what happened. She does not pretend it didn't shape her, but she looks at her growing life, her new home, her steady joy, and she knows some doors must stay open if the future is going to breathe. So she lets Mama Nyasha in, not fully, not blindly, but gently, enough for healing to find its way. Months later in Muzieri, life feels gentler. Their little house on the corner glows every evening, the warm yellow light spilling onto the street like honey. It is the kind of house people pass by and smile at without knowing why. Tendai stands at the gate one evening, chatting with a neighbor. He holds his phone in his hand and shows the man a screenshot of one of the old messages Mama Nyasha once sent. He isn't bragging or trying to embarrass her. He simply wants to show how quiet truth works, how it rises slowly but surely, until no one can pretend it wasn't there. He laughs softly as he explains, the kind of laugh that comes from disbelief rather than joy, and then he wipes his eyes because the memory of Amara's face that first morning still hits him hard. Mama Nyasha visits sometimes now. She doesn't come with loud words or false sweetness. She brings bowls of stew, bags of vegetables, or a little cloth she stitched herself. She walks in with a quiet humility that still surprises Tendai and Amara. One day she asks if she can hold the baby growing inside Amara's belly. When Amara places her hand gently on the bump, Mama Nyasha trembles a little and begins to cry softly into the baby blanket she brought. It feels like she is washing away old pain with each tear. Inside the house, Amara stands near the window, smiling in that calm, steady way she learned over time. Her face shows the life she has lived. Laughter lines that curve gently, eyes that know how to cry without breaking, a mouth that has learned how to speak for itself. She holds up her hand to the neighbor, showing how one simple message changed the direction of everything. A message that once hurt her became the spark that pushed them toward a new life. The moment settles around them like a quiet blessing. The camera of the mind lingers on Tendai's face beside hers, faithful, warm, sure, and then on the little house behind them. A small place but built with truth, with choices made every single day, with love that refused to give up. Their home becomes a tiny kingdom shaped by messages uncovered, promises honored, and two people choosing each other again and again.